Hey Downtimers, today we're going to look at how to make a conifer out of a bamboo skewer and an air filter. The first thing we need to do is cut the bamboo skewer in half. Then of course we'll have one bamboo skewer that has a sharp end and a flat end, and then we'll have one that has two flat ends. So of course we'll want to sharpen the one with two flat ends so that it has a sharp point on one of the two sides. Now we'll want to get some dark brown paint, and just really takes a very small amount of water with a brush on these. You really want the paint to be dark, and just use the cheapest acrylic paints you have, because you're not going to be able to see this very well through the tree, the needles of the tree, right, very well anyway. So real cheap dark brown paint is all you need for that. And then we'll want to use the same technique we used before in the very first Finding Flora video. We'll want to use a washer on top of some green tea leaves, and of course we'll just put the skewer right in the middle of the washer, and we'll go ahead and put the hot glue down all over the washer. Make sure you also cover the edges of the washer, and run the glue up from the sides up the base of the skewer so that you can better secure the skewer. And just like in the swamp plant video, we'll want to make sure to put down the green tea leaves on the hot glue before it gets a chance to dry. And be sure to hold the skewer in place while the glue is drying, and it usually only takes about 30 seconds or so. Here's where we'll want to get our Natural Aire Cut-to-Fit air filters. Now these are made with natural fibers. I'm giving you a close-up here. The back is a mesh, so we want to make sure that the mesh side is down when we put these on our bamboo skewer, and that way we'll know that the mesh will not be showing. So we'll want to cut some squares out here, and it really ranges with about as thick as you want to make this, and obviously how tall the bamboo skewer is, or in other words, how tall you want your tree to be. Most of the conifers I make with the air filters, I use anywhere from 3 to 5 pieces of air filter. You want to round out the edges and simply pull them apart. And after you get them pulled apart, you'll be able to set them next to your skewer to see about how many you might need. And be sure to save the trimmings from cutting these, and just trim them up a little bit more so that you can make tiny little pieces of flock out of these little pine needles. And as you pull these apart to open them up and make them a little bit airier, you'll probably have to pull out a stick or two. Sometimes they have larger pieces inside these filters that look like little pieces of sticks. And you'll simply just want to grab those and pull them out with your fingers, or you can cut them out. And you can wait till the very end to trim, but I like to trim first and then trim a little bit more after I have the tree all put together. So you just want to make sure the top portion of each piece is a little bit smaller of a circle than the mesh portion, which is the bottom. And here you just want to make sure you line up your air filter pieces so that you're sure to put them in order from the largest circle to the smallest at the top. Now we'll want to get our skewer and make sure we put a little hot glue towards the bottom. I usually leave about an inch or so at the bottom for the trunk of the tree, and then we can put the other pieces on top of the bottom base piece. And we just want to make sure we get the very center of the mesh piece on the bottom, and try our best to keep it centered throughout as we poke the bamboo skewer through. And then at the very top we'll want to add some more hot glue. So you only really need to hot glue the bottom piece and the top piece. Now part of the reason why I like just gluing the bottom and the top is because it allows you a lot more freedom in this step here where you get to trim the tree. When you put the pieces on the skewer, it kind of makes them compress again a little bit. So you want to make sure you get a chance to open these up a little bit more and make them kind of fan out a little bit more. And when you do that, it makes the tree look a little bit fuller. And also you want to maybe twist the middle ones around a little bit. Since they're not glued, you can do that, and it might make it look a little more uniform. Of course, you don't want this to look perfect. If you make some mistakes, or if you have to pull out a larger stick or two, that's not really going to matter. Once you're done with that, you want to add some half and half to the bottom to seal in the flock that we put on the bottom earlier, the green tea leaves. And then we want to go ahead and grab some of the green needles that we chopped up earlier and use that along with some green tea leaves and put some more of that on the base so that we have a little bit more of a natural look. Most of the time when you go out into the forest or into the woods, you'll notice there'll be quite a large variety of things on the forest floor. So you might have sticks, leaves, pine needles, all sorts of stuff, obviously dirt. So I found this decorative raffia. I actually picked this up from a yard sale, very cheap, and I really had no clue what I might use it for, but I thought this might look pretty good for sticks at the base, and I really wanted to do something more. This is actually a really easy tree technique here with the air filter, so you don't really need to use any flock on the tree itself. So I thought it might be fun to add a little bit more to the base of it to make it look a little more realistic on the base side. And so I kind of might have went a little bit overboard with some of the sticks here, but I wanted to put some sticks at the bottom. So I simply used my half and half, and then once that dried, I simply went back with a dark brown paint and I painted these up. Now, they don't take paint very well. If you do have some of this and you want to try this, this obviously is an optional step. You probably want to go ahead and secure it to the base first with a half and half, let it dry, and then put the paint on the side that's up, obviously. And if you put it on without too much water, it should take pretty well. I tried painting these before I put them on the base, and they really just didn't take paint very well. But once it got down on the base, it actually took paint well enough, and they actually look like sticks on the bases of these trees. So I was pretty happy with that. These are super easy and quick to make. Each air filter makes anywhere from about 15 to 20 trees from what I could figure. I haven't made that many, so it's kind of hard for me to guesstimate, but it's actually really good bang for your buck because I believe the filters sell on Amazon for about $5 each. They look great on the table. It's always great to have conifers in the mix. And your favorite of these trees can also serve as a great centerpiece for your quiet little town even after the grand celebration of Christmas has ended and the cold winter chill is slowly fading into a warm spring breeze. Well, that's it for Finding Flora number 2. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please put them below in the comments section. And if you got anything out of this, if you would, please give us a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.